the wall. There's pieces of a wall, but the river was the defense on this side. Trying to get an army across a river is very difficult. On this side of the castle, there is one entrance. Down there, and in the back, there's a little door that opens onto the river. This area was the fridge. This was the refrigerator. This was the storage area for food. 1,000 years ago, there was no electricity. Imagine. So, no electricity, no fridges. So the food was in here. That means that this was the dining hall for eating and drinking and dancing and general parties. So the workers would go down here and get the food. Hurry up! In there! Very bad workers. Get the food! I'm very sorry. She's new. It's her first day. Get the food. And then they came back and they served the food to the important guests. But first, okay, so in that direction, Strongbow was the problem. In the other direction, the native Irish were the problem. For the English, they considered themselves civilized. Cup of tea. Very civilized. And the native Irish were savages. Come on, savages. The most important defense for the English people was the longbow. Do you know what a longbow is?
Yes. What do you do? It's a bow with
The British had a longbow about that long. And it took a lot of strength to fire. But it was very, very, very dangerous. It could kill you from 400 or 500 meters.
Oh, that's great.
That's crazy. That's similar to a gun. And this was 1,000 years ago. So the native Irish people hated the soldiers who fired the longbows. They hated them so much that when they captured one, they didn't kill him. And they didn't keep him prisoner. They took his hand. They took his 2 fingers chomp, and cut them off. Because no fingers, no bow. This is maybe the reason that in every country in Europe you do this, but in Ireland and England we do this. Because it, oh look, I have 2 fingers. So that's what. Is anybody recording? Please don't record the next word. Okay, I'm not going to say the next bit. Okay, let's take a little tour around. Before we go, look at different architecture. Over there, all of the towers are square. And over there, all of the towers are round. Because, remember, at this time, building a castle was difficult. and it didn't happen at one time. The square towers were easier to build, but not as good. So they were built first. The circle towers are better for defense, but more difficult to build. They were built later. The really strange thing about this castle is the shape. Usually a castle is a square, because when you have a square, if you are in the castle, you can look out, you can see everything. Four directions to defend. But this castle is a cross, and it has a lot of different problems for defense. Because imagine you are standing here, you can't see the door. That's terrible design for war. So that probably means this part wasn't designed for war. A little bit, of course, but they were confident that they could make a beautiful castle because the walls were the real defense. It's actually in the shape of a cross. Oh. Because they were obviously Christians at this time. We'll go around the wall and then back out. But first, everybody get in here to take a photo.